Thank you. Good morning and welcome to all of you to our wonderful campus, IIT Madras. Not only are we ranked one of the best educational institutions in the country, but we are also proud to live and work on a piece of land that's absolutely pristine and beautiful. Welcome. While you are here, go around and take a stroll and enjoy our campus as well. It's wonderful to see this Energy Consortium take shape and take roots in our campus. Raghu has been the prime mover along with Satya and several of our colleagues, and as Raghu mentioned, we now have a team of over 50 faculty members drawn from at least 5 departments, if I'm not mistaken, so which makes it a highly interdisciplinary effort which energy deserves. As a problem, energy production, consumption, energy distribution and consumption is something that we will have to grapple with in a big way as a race before too long. I think we have a window of about 20 years to really get our act in shape, to get these 3 pieces of the puzzle lined up. That we produce energy sustainably, we distribute it sustainably, and consume it sustainably. So I know our partners in the Energy Consortium, the founding members, have a keen interest in all 3 aspects of this value chain. I want to talk to where an academic institution has a role to play in this vast canvas of energy as a problem. I think when I deal with from my vantage point as the dean for academic and corporate relations, for alumni and corporate relations, I have visibility into what hundreds of our corporate partners are doing, and also work closely with dozens of them on solving their problems and understanding how we could work together in a more socially responsible fashion. And from that vantage point, I find that we need to first understand what each of us is good at and where each of us can be leveraged into our processes. So I'll start by explaining, by sort of presenting my point of view of what academia is good for. We're of course good for producing good human resources. That's a given. Going beyond that, we are really good for 2 things on the scale of understanding and solving problems. One, I think because of the very nature of our approach, which is rooted in first principles, we are good with troubleshooting. In other words, when all else fails, think of us as your last resort to solve your really pesky, deep-rooted problems. I think that's a place but invest in the solution process. Invest both resources and time to get to a point where you really are happy with your solution, with the solutions we come to. That's the first sort of aspect of what IITs or any academic institution in the world are good for. And the second is to look at those issues on the horizon 3 to 5 years out that you don't have either the luxury or the ability to invest resources in. So let's say you want to understand. Yesterday I happened to read an article on artificial photosynthesis, which is apparently a way to capture carbon from the atmosphere without the use of sunlight. So there could be some scale issues that you could solve. Now, before a Baker Hughes or a Shell or tomorrow a Saipem or any other company wants to start investing in this in a more serious fashion, one needs to understand the pros and cons, one needs to understand the parameter space in which that technology is developed, the viability of it, economics of it, and there's a lot of what if questions that arise out of this whole issue before you can invest your own resources in a big way. And this technology is clearly at least 3 years out on the horizon. These are the kinds of technologies that are really outliers that again any academic institution is good for. Step up, invest in these, invest some of what I will call your patient capital to explore opportunities that are out there on the horizon that you could not make a direct business case for internally in your own organization for various reasons. I found this to be the case. I'll say these are the two avenues in which all of our founding members can directly engage with the Energy Consortium in a meaningful way right off the bat. Now, there's a whole range of timescales between troubleshoot problem solving to long-term 3 to 5 year horizon. I'm not suggesting that we are bad at those. What I have found from my expertise is that, from my experience, is that companies are able to garner internal resources and approach that scale problems far better than we can react. For example, for me to get started off on a problem, I need to start by hiring a PhD student. Now, we then generally tend to hire PhD students twice a year, July and January. So right there is a problem. You come to me in October and say, sure, we'll get started talking, but the work will start in January. That's not acceptable to several of our corporate partners. But on the 3 to 5 year time scale, that's perfectly alright. And it's also alright on the shorter term troubleshoot horizon because we already have a volume of activity going. And this could segue into some of the activities that we already do. So that's sort of the view that I wanted to present this morning in terms of what we are good at. Now, having said this, I also want to give you a little bit of work. I want to tell you why you should engage with us in a more meaningful way. Of course, again, human resource creation, talent generation is the main reason, because you will have to use all the human resource that all of us in universities graduate. So it's important that you engage with us so we can produce human resources that are in line with your needs of the day. I graduate mechanical engineers, by the hundreds every year, but we also want to be contemporary with our curriculum. So that's one easy reason for you to engage with. But the main reason I want to leave you all with, where industry-academia collaboration should thrive, is to produce meaningful results. You need sound science. The age of tinkering, parametric optimization, alone solving problems is behind us. Problems of the future require us to dig into science far more than we were probably used to. I used to work in the US for a company that was into making aircraft engine components. So a lot of our practices in the company were sort of rooted in empirical knowledge. Where we would have internally developed some correlations to understand a certain performance parameter, and we were quite happy with it. That whole approach to engineering is, I think, a thing of the past. I'm seeing increasingly that the problems require us to blend a lot more of science into our practice, and academic institutions are best positioned to bring that point of view. To sort of help bridge this collaboration, industry-academia collaboration, from our point of view, we've brought out, one of the stumbling blocks is sort of poor conversation skills, lost in translation problems between what industry wants and what an academic institution wants. So to solve that, partially we've started a national magazine called IIT Madras Shastra. We'll have copies for all of you. This magazine is intended to take everything that's happening everywhere in the country and distill it into a language that all of us can understand, digest and use. While it is being produced by IIT Madras, it is intended to showcase the entire country's research, science, innovation and technology that's being actively pursued in a large country like ours. So please read it, please give me I'll be happy to look forward to hearing your thoughts on it, and we can talk more as we go forward about that as well. Thank you all for coming this morning, and it's a wonderful day today to see the consortium finally grow wings and start to fly, and I look forward to the day's program.